Hey guys, it's Jaylon. Welcome back. I'm here today to share with you my update for Size Matters. This is the Pan That palette for the Pan That palette theme for the Pantastic Ladies Collab Facebook group, and the theme was created by Jessica Lee. I will leave all the information about this project down below. So for this project, this theme for Pan That palette, I chose my Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour Quad, and this is in the shade Rust. So I have been working on this since January, and I did franken one of the shades in here. So there are 3 additional pans of eyeshadow that I will show you. But first, let me show you what my palette looked like last month. And now let me show you what my palette looks like now. So there we go. Now there is a little bit of like darkening on these two shades here. And that's just from my makeup wipe as I was cleaning the palette. So just disregard that. But yeah, that's how this is looking. So the 2 shadows that I'm really actively using in the palette itself are these 2 here. This big one here is called Base, and this lighter shade is called Highlight. And I think Highlight definitely the pan in that one has grown, not a significant amount, but it's definitely grown. And this shade the pan here has grown significantly. I pretty much use this almost every day in my crease as like my first transition shade. Yeah. So I think I'm going to repress this shade. I actually have another eyeshadow that I need to repress as well. So I'm just going to take advantage of the fact that I'm going to do a little bit of repressing and go ahead and repress the shade, because it is getting to the point where it's a little bit challenging just to get, an easy application, because I'm trying to dig into the corners. So I just figured I might as well repress it, make it easy on myself. So I'll do that this afternoon, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. But the shadow, now I did take a little bit of this brown and franken it, I think the last time, or maybe the time before that. And this is the shade that I mostly use to franken shadows. So let me show you those. The first one I have is this. It's the lightest shade that I have. Now, this doesn't look that much different from the last video, but I do use it quite a bit. I do have these shadows in my crease for this eye look. I did use another palette for the lid shadows, but I'll show you what these franken shades look like. So there's one. That's this one. And the second one I have is this one. And this is the one I do have. The pan in here has grown quite a bit. I feel like it has. I think last month, whenever I was swatching it, is when I hit pan. I'm just using an old Wet n Wild brush with like stiff bristles, but I'm cleaning it off with my color switch to be able to get in here to get shadow, because these franken shades are a little bit difficult to get a decent color, like finger swatch. So I'm just using my brush to do it. So that's what that one looks like. Now I do have to kind of go into each shadow several times to kind of get a good amount of payoff, but it's fine. I kind of like the fact that it's not super pigmented, so I can kind of take my time blending it and building the color up. And then here is the third franken shade. Now this one, last month I repressed this prior to last month, like right before, and it was so powdery, I actually added some additional shadows to it, so it's more brown and I think darker than it was before. So I've kind of been experimenting with this palette with the whole frankening thing. So that's what that one looks like. So those are my 3 franken shades, and I did not swatch this lightest, like this base shade, but honestly, it's pretty much my skin tone. Yeah, so there you go. But it's a nice, like, crease transition shade. So that's how my 3 shadows are going, plus the palette. I think because I'm going to go ahead and repress this shade and the other shadow that I need to repress, I'm going to franken this one. I'm going to take a little bit of it and just play around with some other shadows I have. I haven't decided what yet, and I have a couple of options. So I have some shadows from this Lorac Shine Bright palette. I hit pan and a lot of these shadows from my Dude You Pan My Battleship challenge that I did with Verity. So this is what this palette looks like. I haven't, decided what shadows I would franken it with. So I don't know. I may play around with it. Because I feel like this brown, it doesn't look that dark in the pan, but it's actually really, really dark on the eyes. It's also very pigmented. And so it's a bit harder to use. I kind of want to make it a little bit more versatile and everyday. So I may actually take this light brown shade and mix it with light brown. And maybe even just take, I think Crepe is a matte. And I may just take Crepe and mix it in there. Or I can just take the shade Highlight from the Quad. But I may just do that. I may just take a large portion of this and mix it in with that brown shade and just see what happens. We'll see. Like I said, I just want to make it more of a universal brown shade. So that is my Quad, my Size Matters palette, and how I'm doing. I'm still enjoying it. I love the looks that I get with it. It's kind of a go-to palette that I use for green looks, for neutral looks, purple looks. This kind of look, it's a go-to like palette that I use for a lot of things. Milo. Now let me share with you how things are looking for my, I just dropped a shadow. Now let me share with you how things are looking for my Baby Pan That palette. So I am using this MAC Duo, and I've been working on this is my 3rd year. And this has 2 Extra Dimension Skin Finish eyeshadows. This one is Just Gleaming, and this one is Snow Dusk. So Just Gleaming is the one that I mostly focus on using, and I feel like I've definitely expanded that waffle pan mostly over here, like down towards this corner. That's where I've been aiming my brush. Now I finally did hit side pan, and it was kind of a surprise. All of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I was able to get a little chunk out of there. I was like, finally. But yeah, I do feel like that's definitely growing. I'll try to throw a picture up of what it looked like last month. And I did use Snow Dusk a couple of times last month too. So I do feel like that pan expanded a bit. But it's definitely not a shadow that I use that frequently. It's more of a cool toned shadow. So like cool toned brown. So it's not something I use as often. And those are what those look like. They're so pretty. I do have Just Gleaming in the inner corner. That's pretty much how I use it every single day. It's my inner corner shadow. So that is everything for this video. Pretty short and sweet, I think. It could be long, who knows. I will definitely have more frankened shades next month, which is going to be exciting. We'll see how that shadow turns out. But I think that is going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you're doing well and staying safe. Please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. That's a precarious spot you're on. You're gonna fall, Bobbi. jumps up on the bed and he plays. Milo, what is it? Hi, Marley. Hey. Oh, gosh. Okay. Hi. Hi. Hey. Hey, baby. Okay, bye.